Hey guys, this is Heather Shannon, sex and relationship therapist, and today I will be talking to you about monogamy versus non-monogamy and how do you decide what is right for you and what is right for your partnership. So, a few different considerations. One is variety. So, do you feel like your needs for variety can be met within a monogamous relationship, or do part of your needs for variety involve multiple different relationships filling different needs for you? So that's an important consideration. Another one is if you're already in a primary relationship, is what is the impact on that relationship? And this can be unpredictable. So I think it's important to kind of do some reflecting for yourself, maybe do some journaling, maybe even meet with a therapist about this to understand it fully. I do know of cases where one partner was super enthusiastic about, pitching this to their partner and, hey, let's try non-monogamy and see if that makes sense for us. And the other partner was a little more hesitant. And then once they got into it, the hesitant partner became the enthusiast, and the enthusiastic partner kind of was like, I don't know if this is working for me. So I think that that's important to consider, that it's somewhat unpredictable. And so is that a risk you're willing to take? And what kind of measures can you put into place to reduce that risk? Also, and I think this is a really huge one, is just sort of alignment and fulfillment. So what feels authentic for you? I have friends who identify as polyamorous, and that's what really feels authentic. That's what makes them happy. That's what lights them up inside. And then I have other friends that, hey, I've tried some stuff in terms of open relationships, and it's just not a right fit for me. Like, I'm just genuinely more monogamous at heart. And so there's no right or wrong answer here. It's really about being true to yourself and what feels right, and also accepting that that could also change in different phases of your life, and you might need to try some stuff to see what is the right fit. Another really important consideration, and I think this really applies to all relationships, is communication skills. So one thing that I think monogamous partnerships often miss is the importance of defining, what does that mean for us? What does that look like for us? Is it okay to flirt with someone else? Is it okay to dance with someone else? Does it matter if it's, super close dancing or, line dancing or something like that? So a lot of times monogamous partners skip over that step of, what are we comfortable with? What's okay, what's not? And I will say, and I think this is pretty universally agreed upon, that you need to have some really good communication skills if you're going to be doing some kind of consensual non-monogamous relationship, whether it's polyamory, where you're having multiple committed, emotionally available relationships, or if you're doing open relationships where you have one primary emotionally committed relationship and other more casual relationships, or if you're doing swinging or monogamish relationship. But especially with polyamory, where you're having multiple romantic, emotionally committed relationships, you're going to want to communicate really well, because when you have multiple partners, you're multiplying the communication needs. And not only, like, if you have two partners, not only are you multiplying it by two, but then you've kind of got the dynamics between the partners and all of that is not present with monogamous relationships. So the people that I know that are successful with this are willing to put in that work, and they're very accepting of the trade-offs. So if you're having more emotionally committed relationships or multiple partners, kind of realizing, like, where else are you going to cut back in your life? Can you cut back on your platonic friendships then? Can you cut back on your hobbies? Can you cut back on your work to make space for that in your life? So I think just accepting that trade-off. And also, I feel like it's almost a joke amongst people who are consensually non-monogamous, but that the calendar thing, it becomes a big part of your life, and juggling your schedule with multiple partners and planning ahead. So those are considerations to be aware of. And if you think this is something that you are curious to try, consensual non-monogamy, that is, I would highly recommend the book The Ethical Slut. It's a wonderful book. And I think they have like multiple editions at this point. There's an audiobook, there's a paper book. So do what works for you. But I think that's a great place to start to understand in more detail than this video can go into. But what are the different considerations and what is truly lining up for me? So if you guys have more questions, let me know and I will see you next time.